Back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, there's a link in the description box where you can find out your whole birth chart. And that way, for additional information for the week, you can always look at your Moon and Rising signs as well as your Sun sign reading today. So this is for Leo for the week of August 15th to August 22nd. We'll be using the Wisdom of the Oracle Tarot for your 5-card general spread today, and then drawing additional message cards as always from the Medicine Card Tarot and the Healing with the Angels Tarot. So this is a general reading. Whatever is most prominent in your life, Leo, I encourage you to apply these messages to, and hopefully you'll find them helpful and healing. So let's look at what our general message is for Leo. What does Leo need to know this week? All right, so we have your 5 cards here. I'm just going to get sort of an eagle eye view of what's going on, generally speaking, looking at all the cards together here in their respective positions. So you have a great deal of decision making to do this week. You're really trying to figure something out, to nail something down this week in particular. You're looking at possibly generating a new life for yourself, whatever that means for you right now. It could be a new job, new relationship, new travel plans, new artistic style, even a new, discipline. If you're in school, sort of the arts as opposed to science or vice versa. So you're looking at making a decision around letting something go in order to create something new for yourself. And it all has to do around where you belong, where you think you belong, where you've been told you belong, where you want to belong. And you have a lot available to you. So there is a lot of opportunities available to you. Like I said, this is about a decision making this week. So let's look at what's going on for each card in each position, and then as always, I'll hold them up to the camera for you one by one so you can get a feel for what's going on in the cards intuitively, if there are colors or shapes or even figures like animals and so forth that speak to you intuitively. Please do that, because that's what it's all about here. This is supposed to make sense to you. So let's start with the central position card. This represents you this week, Leo, and it's the tribe. And this is really about belonging. Where do you belong? Where do you think you belong? Why might you think that? Could it be a family issue? Absolutely. You might even be discovering concepts around family and what family means and so forth. But it could be a commercial prospect. It could be, like I said, it could be arts or a discipline in university or college. It could be about an avenue of life for yourself. Maybe you've been working really hard and sort of accumulating wealth and really creating so-called status for yourself, but kind of out of nowhere or through a series of events, you've been thinking about dropping everything and traveling, or vice versa. So that kind of thing is going on here around where you want to be, why you want to be there, and sort of how to get there. And that's sort of the decision making here. I don't see any plans being set in stone here necessarily, but that you're contemplating either a new avenue or a different way to travel on the avenue that you're on. So the card that you're is in the position of energy that you're leaving or bringing into the week is the not for you card. This is why I'm really talking about a decision making here. Do you have to make a decision at the end of the week? No. Are you going to follow through with the decision making by the end of the week? Probably not, unless there are other influences involved here. But you're keenly aware that something needs to be let go of or something needs to be dropped in order for you to get ahead. And the reason why I'm saying that we're looking at where you belong and that something else is available to you that you might be more excited about or feel a greater affiliation to, etc., is because of these 3 cards here and the positions they're in. Not for you basically means that something that is going to feel like a game or a setup, even if you've created it, is run its course. It's lackluster. It's going to start feeling like a rut, and you are steering away from it for whatever reason, and you're making it not as, let's say, appealing to you. I don't see this happening by itself. It's not like something on its own became sour and you've discovered it's sour and not attractive anymore. I think this is something that probably is working for you. You could carry on just the way you are without making any changes, and everything would look and feel tickety-boo. But something's gnawing at you. Something is a little bit itchy in life right now, and you really want to create space for something new for yourself. That's what I see going on here with you being willing to, or at least recognizing that something that feels like a game or something that's probably going over and over isn't going to change, and you have to ask what you're doing there. In the position, what is working for you is the Y card, and this is why I'm talking about looking at some opportunities for yourself, because not only do you have the concept of motivation, what motivates you to do certain things or not other things, what drives you, what gets your attention, and belonging. So that's why I think that there are large decisions here in conjunction with the opportunities that may be available to you position that you're not aware of. Here is the new life. There is something definitive that is available to you that you, it appears here, just need to make a decision around and sort of just grab hold of and run with. And with the probable outcome card being the truth be told, I do think that this has to do with, by and large, telling yourself the truth. It could have to do with other people, of course, because this is a general reading. Again, whatever is most prominent in your life. This could be a conversation that you have with other people regarding your decision, but it does come down to your truth. And it does come down to your motivation and letting something go, expecting and being willing to engage in a new life for yourself by understanding where you belong and why you want to be there, frankly. So let's look at these one by one as promised. We have the tribe here. These cards, the artwork in these cards are really adorable, and I love all the animals in them. You can see that there's a little family of giraffes here. There are a couple of parrots and sort of a flock of birds in the distance, and they've got sort of a little camp out, something in the midst of what I consider their journey. And this is really about belonging. And because it is next to the not for you, or the not for you is leading into this energy, this is really going to feel like where you want to fit in and where you feel comfortable. It doesn't mean fitting in necessarily by doing what everyone expects you to do, or what everyone, or sort of like a culty mentality. I don't see that going on here, because I do think that you have to be honest with yourself about what you're doing and what you're willing to give and receive here. But definitely you are creating an opportunity here for yourself by questioning this sense of belonging, because like I said, I think you think that, or you recognize at least, that something has run its course, something's up. Something greater for you might exist, and it could be an issue here of what are you willing to let go of. And there's a lot of comfort in a tribe. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of comfort in the status quo. There's a lot of comfort in not making any changes. There's even something comfortable about a rut, frankly, especially if, like I said, if there's nothing overarchingly problematic about it for you right now. What it seems to be here is that you're looking at issues of potential that you don't feel that you're reaching, or that you feel that you could be entitled to or be willing to work hard toward, that you feel if you're not engaging in that, it's going to be a little bit of a letdown. And that's what I see here in terms of what is working for you. We're looking at motivations about what drives you to do certain things or not. And if you're motivated out of a rut, or if you're motivated out of a situation that doesn't feel good to you anymore, or feels kind of ruddy and you think you're better than that, and I agree with you, then maybe give a little bit more attention to your motivation to belonging, or your motivation to not belonging. I mean, you don't want to be antisocial either, but you could be coming to terms with getting yourself away from a certain person or a group of people or a mindset or a community, etc., that doesn't hold your best interests at heart, or like I'm saying here, that doesn't feel like home or family, or has is rising to its highest potentials. And I honestly believe that this is actually just part of a growing process here. I don't think there's anything overarchingly, upsetting here. There's nothing that's going to feel like the tower and the Rider-Waite-to-Row. Like, nothing is going to be undone necessarily. It's just that there are opportunities that are available to you. And certainly if you're feeling down about things lately, Leo, give it a chance. Maybe start looking at things like community, making room for something new and positive in your life, and your motivation for doing things. Because in your what is available to you position, like I said, is the new life. And this will be invigorating if you let yourself do it, right? If you let yourself go here and make some significant changes, even in the decision-making stage. I mean, this is where the power is in the present, right? It's like, okay, acknowledging something, desiring something else, putting something in plan, making a plan for that, and then actually putting that plan in motion. So there's a series of things that need to happen or occur here in order for you to get to this point where you're able to tell your truth. But you first have to recognize that this is available to you, and to confront something with love, because the truth be told, its whole energy is love. It has to be done with heart. It has to be done with the highest intention. Someone may even feel left behind, or you may feel as though if you take this move or take this chance, that you may leave someone behind. It could even be that what you could be leaving behind, or in terms of what's tripping you up in making that move, or having the gumption to leave what's important to you right now behind, is that you're nervous about that new life, or you're nervous about leaving something behind because it's closing a door. But this is how we evolve. We have to get to the next level by leaving something behind. No one wants to stay, like 12 years old forever, right? So no one wants to stay in a certain place either. You can consider 12 years old an age, but if you're there mentally, for example, that can be considered a rut, and you're not doing yourself any favors, even if it's comfortable there. And the same thing about, like I said, lifestyle, groups of friends, places that are going to have something to do with a community, or a communal effect, or a community outreach. As I said in the very beginning as well, there could be an element of, school or a discipline as well. And absolutely that includes the arts. However, I think the overarching dealio here for you, Leo, is really learning to let something go in order to make room for something fabulous for yourself. And just to go over some main key words again here, if you want to contemplate this over the week, are community, motivation, games, or, a hamster wheel, okay, is another term. New life or new direction, and then telling the truth or loving the self. Let's see what other information here we can add on top of the main spread. And like I said, I also don't see any formative decision, action happening this week. It doesn't state here that there is outright action. This is a week for contemplation. At least that it's available to you this week. It's something you are going to have to decide for yourself, however, no matter how it impacts other people here, Leo. I don't see other people being impacted negatively anyway, even if you are to take, and I hope you do, take the highest route for yourself. Everyone wins, like everyone benefits from that. Even if people decide to stay close or decide to pull back for whatever reasons they have. Can't go living for other people either, if that's at all what's going on here. We have the Lynx as one of your additional cards. The Lynx is the card of secrets. Either you feel that secrets are afloat, secrets are holding you back, or secrets are being used against you, or you're using secrets in order to protect yourself right now. Another avenue to look at this card with regard to the spread in particular is to suggest that there are secrets within the community or secret motivations here that you might be growing tired of, essentially. And it is important to leave something, even if it's to close a door on something in your own life and it has nothing to do with anyone else. Even if you're willing to close the door on something and start something new for yourself, it is important to be fully honest with yourself, not trick yourself or deceive yourself in anything. And in that vein, you could be exposed to things that were considered secrets, or exposed to or secrets may come to light within these groups or within discovering the motivation this week that help sort of make a decision, right? Maybe you just needed to hear something, or maybe you just needed to be perfectly confident that someone or something was a certain way or was doing a certain thing, and now you can move on. But really, if you can help it, Leo, this week, don't put off making a larger scale decision, as I said, around something that's going to feel like a game, or something that just feels like maybe its time is up, right? In your last card here, we have balance. This is beautiful. I'm going to compare this in this situation to the Libra card. We're looking at issues of balance, especially when you're making large scale decisions here, and a lot of heart is involved, and we're looking at motivations here. You don't have to pick on yourself either. You can be really kind to yourself during this time, but it is important to keep balance and not go too far one way or too far in the other way. Another way to look at this is between the heart and the head, between the emotions and the intellect, that type of thing. So if you feel like there is a little bit of upset to a balance this week, Leo, just recall that that is part of your mission this week, believe it or not, is to just keep balance, keep things ticking. I just don't see any firm application of decision making this week, and I don't think that's being called. You're not being called to do that this weekend necessarily either. So maybe give yourself a little bit of a break if you can, and do this over a series of time. Maybe make some pros and cons list for yourself if that helps. Do a little bit of research if you think that would help. Look at other people or places or actors or organizations, etc., who you already look up to, and see if they have some guidance to give you so that you're not reinventing the wheel, so to speak, so that you can sort of stand on the shoulders of giants here. If this is about getting out of a rut and moving on to a higher level of consciousness for yourself. So I will leave it there. As always, I'm genuinely curious to hear what this means to you. So if you have a second, let me know in the comments. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I upload videos for your sign every single week, Leo. So until we meet again next time, take good care, and I will see you then. Bye for now.